Frags and Beer family, welcome back to Indie Spotlight. I'm your host, Zaymot, also known as Trevor on social media. Find the links to all of my content and the ways to get a hold of me in the video description below, including ways to support the channel. Some of them are monetary, but the easiest, cheapest, because it's free, way to support the channel is just click the subscribe button. Get us to 300 on the road to 1,000 this year, and I'll give away more books. So that's the goal. Every 100 I'm going to give away books. So we're at 241 as of this sort of stream / recording. So yeah, we need what 59 more. I suck at math. 59 more of you guys to click that red button and I'll start giving away books. So we sort of stalled out at the 240 mark. Hopefully some more of you guys come back and click that button. I've seen new faces. All the people who have come and supported the channel, I love you so much. Thank you. All right, so Saturday on Indie Spotlight, we usually introduce a new artist to Indie Spotlight, and I have been sitting on Topher for a little while now. He was high on my list of new artists to bring in, and I was just waiting for either the right feeling or the right time or whatever. But then I saw this pop up in my suggestions, The Garden. This popped up in my YouTube suggestions. I listened to it and I loved it. So that told me, hey, we got to do Topher Saturday. So introducing Topher via The Garden featuring D-Cure. Topher is a rap artist. He's also another controversial rap artist because he tends to create songs. He's controversial for being, gasp, patriotic. One of his videos that was actually taken down is called The Patriot. Anyway, it's a shame that rapping about loving your country and being a veteran and supporting the Constitution and the things that this country stands for is deemed offensive and triggering. Oh, sorry, triggering's a violent word now. Content warning. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at Topher. The Garden featuring D-Cure. I will pause as necessary. If you're in the live stream, thank you. If you're watching the recording, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you are offended by people being patriotic, saying words like frack, or having a flag, or really anything, if you're offended, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry that you're offended by whatever. I'm just sorry that you're a person that gets offended that easily. That must suck. All right, so here we go. The Garden by Topher featuring D-Cure.
Once was a girl in a garden who wondered one day what she'd be.
I don't have anything to drink. I forgot to get a glass of water. It's too early for beer.
The mind of the young and the innocent, free from all the hate and the ignorant. False of humankind, no remembrance. Thoughts of positivity, minus negative images. The love erases all the blemishes that we receive from life's scrimmages. A consequence of being born in different villages that shape the worldview before forming in the sentences that supposedly taught.
So what I think where he's going with this here is the garden, obviously referring to or referring to either Eden or some other sort of pre-societal utopia, and where people lived, or if you believe biblical or even any other sort of early human mythology, whether it be Christian or Norse or Greek or whatever. A lot of them have similar stories where humanity was innocent and lived in harmony and peace before the advent of civilization, whatever that sort of impetus for leaving the garden is, whether it be the apple or whatever. And it's a shame that people are now taught, this is where he's going with this, is society created a structure that taught people to be distrusting and hateful of each other. It taught people in different villages that they should distrust each other. And for part of that is survival instinct. I've talked about that before, maybe not here, but on other things, that, we developed that over time to survive. We developed that because we knew that people from other places, not necessarily people that just looked different than us, but people from other places brought danger. They brought war, they brought disease, they brought, hey, Carol, how's it going? Thank you, and happy weekend to you and yours as well. I appreciate that. Carol just stopped in to say happy weekend to us. I appreciate so much everybody who shows up here. So, yeah, he's basically saying, look, you know, things used to mythology used to say things were great, and then we created society, and society has taught us a lot of the negative things that are going on in the world is the result of the way people treat each other.
Coming in the sentences that supposedly taught how they should function in a world full of adults, abandoning the unction. They see orders non-existent, rampant with dysfunction. War's commonplace, but what is rare is compunction. Compassion is a ration I often serve with dinner. Now they can't go out to play to the stop and pick the gender. It can be a lot to process, a lifetime for it render. But I pray that on the playback you see the whole agenda.
So yeah, this is really about the innocence that has been lost, and whether you agree with everything he says or not, you have to admit that there has been a drastic change in the way that we live and that the way kids grow up. You know, I remember when I was growing up, we went outside, we didn't come in until the street lights clicked on, and we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have any way of contacting our parents, but because kids were responsible and society was different back then, it wasn't as worrisome. You know, our parents didn't worry as much that we were out riding our bikes all night after school. You know, it was no big deal. And now everything is so scary to people, and I really don't think, if you look at statistics, it's really not, but people have this sense that the world is so scary, but the world is becoming less and less dangerous. But that's not what the media is feeding you. That's not what the news is telling you. The news doesn't start every night with a report about how crime has fallen over the last 20 years. It starts every night with a report about the latest shooting or murder or mass killing or whatever it might be. So there's kind of a disconnect there between how the world really is and how people feel that the world is based on what they're seeing on TV. It's a good song. I love it. I love her voice. This is gorgeous.
She found the biggest tree where she'd be tethered to a rope, tied a double knot to make her way from out the smoke. No one there to help her, she brought along hope to make her way back to the place she called home. Felt a tug at every turn like come back. Who's pulling my strings saying give me some slack? She's not afraid of a feeling when they overreact. Rope kind of frayed, caught in the flame, hard to retract. Watching every rose wither, toes feel thorn splinters, then knows he's with her. Hard to be home before dinner. Mom promised to deliver, but was tried as an intruder. Never cried, she roared like the Lion of Judah. I've been chastised and taxed, I am not into it. I won't sit inside ruin, you don't treat me like a human. The faith kept inside more real than those refuting. She felt tied to a tree, now that girl is an illusion.
I love the so as far as the song goes, I'm loving the sort of juxtaposition between his delivery of lyrics that are really kind of difficult to hear sometimes, and then this beautiful melodic singing about the girl in the garden. Those two sort of duality images is almost like flipping a coin and getting, you know, the good and the bad, or the good and the ugly, or whatever you want to call it. Just not that what he's saying is bad. It's just such a cool flip when he kicks in versus the singing voice. It's really cool. I like it. And the beat behind that is really good with this. Yeah, that goes really well together. I like that. cool. Topher. So Topher premiered on Indie Spotlight today with this, The Garden featuring D-Cure. I like the song. I like the mix of the melodic singing with his lyrics coming in and delivering sort of that harsh message. He's got a lot to say in there that makes a lot of sense. He's got a few things in there don't necessarily agree 100% with, but he and I probably have very different worldviews. But I think we have a lot in common too, both veterans, both patriots. He seems like somebody who really cares about other people. I've listened to a couple of his other songs, and he really is interested in fixing a lot of the problems that we do have in this country. And there are problems that need to be fixed. But rather than going online and complaining or going on Twitter and throwing fits, he's trying to get a message out there to sort of open people's eyes, I guess you would say. So great song, really good debut for Topher on this channel. I loved it. We will have more from him as we roll him into the lineup and bring you more songs. And I will have more hopefully today if I have time. I got to clean the house and run some errands, but hopefully I will be able to get you some game streams in today and maybe tonight. Other than that, I will see you guys again. Carol, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Anybody else who was here, thank you. Leave me a comment. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys again soon. You have a great one. Much love.